Tonight, you'll probably check someone's replies before you check your bank account. You know the feeling, that little jolt of dread and hope when you see the three dots appear, then disappear, then appear again. Your palms get a bit sweaty. Your brain runs 1,000 simulations of what one lowercase k could possibly mean. And you tell yourself this is a very modern problem, a very extremely online kind of suffering. But here's the thing, strip away the phone, the Wi-Fi, the read receipts, and you're left with a very old animal running a very old program. Because 40,000 years ago, some hairy, soot-smudged human was sitting by a fire, watching someone across the flames, and feeling exactly the same electric panic you feel right now. No emojis, no group chats, just firelight and a heartbeat that wouldn't slow down. So what did that person actually do about it? How do you flirt when you don't have language the way we do, when you don't have poetry or you up, texts or a bouquet of roses? Turns out, cavemen and cavewomen were not fumbling around clueless. They were running one of the most sophisticated communication systems evolution ever built. You just don't notice it because you're too busy staring at your own screen. Let's rewind. Way before written language, before spoken language even got fully sorted out, humans were already flirting. Anthropologists think courtship behaviors predate complex speech by a long shot, which means love, or at least attraction, was being broadcast through the body long before it was ever spoken out loud. Which means somewhere out there, a Homo erectus was already doing the prehistoric equivalent of accidentally brushing against someone's hand at the watering hole. The first tool cavemen had wasn't fire or flint, it was proximity. Sitting close. That's it. In small nomadic bands of maybe 20 to 50 people, personal space was a luxury nobody really had anyway, but choosing to sit closer to someone, again and again, was a message. It said, "I feel safe here. I want to be near you." Researchers studying primate behavior, because yes, we look at chimps and bonobos to guess what our ancestors might have done, see this exact pattern. Proximity seeking. It's the OG version of sliding into someone's DMs, except instead of a message request, it's just existing near them a suspicious number of times. Then there's touch. Grooming. In primates, grooming isn't just about picking bugs out of fur. It releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, the same chemical that surges when you're falling in love today. Early humans almost certainly used touch the same way. A hand on the shoulder, braiding someone's hair. Small, repeated physical contact that built trust and released the same neurochemical cocktail that makes your stomach flip when your crush's arm brushes yours on a couch. So, next time you feel that jolt from someone lightly touching your arm during a conversation, congratulations, you're basically doing 40,000-year-old chemistry. But arguably the biggest flirting tool cavemen had was one you still use today without even realizing it: mimicry. When you like someone, you unconsciously start mirroring them. You laugh a little louder at their jokes, you copy their posture, you match their pace when walking. This is ancient. Anthropologists believe mimicry was one of the earliest nonverbal love signals in human history because it silently says, "I am like you, we are compatible, I am safe." Cavemen didn't need Tinder bios listing shared interests, they just watched how someone moved and matched it. And then, of course, there's showing off. This is the part that feels the most familiar, because honestly, we never stop doing it. Instead of posting a gym selfie or a "look at this sunset, I definitely didn't just walk past for 5 minutes to get the shot," early humans showed off through demonstrated competence. Hunting skill, tool making, being good at building fires, tracking animals, finding food when nobody else could. Because in a world where survival is not guaranteed, competence is the sexiest trait imaginable. A caveman who could reliably bring back food wasn't just impressive, he was, biologically speaking, a walking green flag. Same goes for cavewomen, who likely displayed skill in foraging, tool use, or social intelligence, the ability to keep the group calm, fed, and cooperative. Skillful hands. Sharp minds. That's the prehistoric version of a great LinkedIn profile. There's also strong evidence for the power of gift-giving, but not roses and chocolate. Try. A particularly nice stone tool, a rare pigment, a shiny or symmetrical object. Some archaeologists have found ochre and shell ornaments in ancient burial and living sites that seem to have no survival use whatsoever. meaning their only real purpose was symbolic: decoration, status, attraction. In other words, someone, somewhere, 40 millennia ago, gave their crush a shiny rock for essentially the same reason you'd give flowers today. I thought of you. I want you to notice me. Please notice me. And here's the twist that makes this whole story land a little closer to home. Cavemen almost certainly experienced romantic anxiety too. Real, physical, gut-wrenching anxiety. Because attraction, in evolutionary terms, is risky. If you approach the wrong person, you might get rejected. Or worse, in tightly bonded prehistoric groups, you might damage alliances that your survival depended on. Which means the fear of rejection isn't some fragile modern invention born from social media. It's ancient. It's baked into your nervous system because for most of human history, being rejected wasn't just embarrassing. It could threaten your access to food, protection, and community. Your brain still treats romantic rejection like a survival threat, which is exactly why checking someone's replies feels like checking whether the ground beneath you is stable. So when you're lying in bed, staring at your phone, agonizing over a text that hasn't been answered yet, that anxious flutter isn't some broken glitch in your brain caused by too much screen time. It's an ancient survival circuit, thousands and thousands of years old, still faithfully running its old software on new hardware. The caveman sitting a little too close to the fire, mimicking someone's laugh, offering a shiny rock with shaking hands. That's you. That's the same you, just with better lighting and worse patience. The tools have changed. Fire pits became phone screens, shiny rocks became song recommendations and thoughtful playlists. Grooming became sending memes that prove I was thinking about you. But the underlying wiring, the hope, the fear, the desperate need to be noticed by one specific person in a very large world, that hasn't changed even slightly. So the next time you feel your heart do that stupid little stumble because someone hasn't texted back yet, just remember, you're not overreacting. You're not being too much. You're running one of the oldest programs in the human operating system, inherited from ancestors who felt the exact same anxious hope beside a fire they didn't fully understand either. Love hasn't gotten more complicated. We've just swapped the flint for Wi-Fi.